I always wanted to be a writer, and I did like I think all writers have to do. Nobody will hire them on their word, so I went into a room and started writing scripts on spec scripts. Well, a spec script is one that you're not paid to write, that you write out of love and the hope that someone will love it enough to pay you a lot for it. It is the most daring, free, and exciting form of writing you can do in Hollywood. My father had been in this business. He was the producer of The Wild Bunch, and I knew this business. And movies had always attracted me tremendously. I was working on a science fiction project, and the science fiction project had a spaceship that was uncovered. I finally decided it was very unsophisticated for any alien culture to come here in what I would describe as a big tin can. And I realized that they would come by information, and that they would send a message. And then I decided that if you wanted a story, what would be exciting is that in some way the message could talk to you. So the message would be instructions to make something that could speak to you. And as I wasn't very fond of machines at that time, I wanted it to be something biological. And I decided that they would send you instructions to make a creature. And they would want to send you instructions to make a creature that would survive in your environment. So it would probably need your DNA to have all the equipment to survive on whatever the environment of the people who receive the message. And this idea and this treatment I originally had was called The Message. I spent a tremendous amount of time with scientists at UCLA researching and also researching them as characters. I spent a lot of time in an organization called Cecil, which is a organization at UCLA of tremendously significant scientists that have an interest in the evolution and origin of life and the universe. I talked to people at SETI. I made some calls to them, and I think everyone was incredibly receptive. And they found the ideas intriguing and legitimate. I also went down to the Human Genome Project down at the Salk Institute, where people were working on one of the chromosomes. And I talked to them about how the genetics would work, and they talked to me about what they could already do genetically to create new creatures. I think the final result of the movie in some ways disappointed them, but my conversations and their enthusiasm for the ideas we shared and was strong and interesting. One of the great things about our scientific community is they share their information freely with everybody. I mean, that's one of the things about the Human Genome Project that was so terrific. They share the information with everybody, and that's how we've built such a body of science.
You say Christian?
Well, I went around town, and I pitched this idea for quite a while. I submitted it, and it became very popular. 5 studios tried to buy it, or made offers to buy it. And of those offers, I chose MGM. It's a very exciting time when you participate in a script auction. The process is a very quick auction, competitive process in which the writer has a great deal of control. He owns the material, and it's his choice where to take it. Instead of asking for a job, he's being asked for his material. And it's always nicer to be asked than to be asking. I was one of the producers, which is part of the control you get with a spec script that when you're just hired, you most likely would not get. It's a very political event, making a film. You're always asked to make changes. Everybody has ideas. Everybody has their favorite ideas. There are a lot of alliances. Break up. And people agree with you. You tend to move right over to their side of the room and try to win the argument with them. And when they disagree with you, you move to the other side of the room and find somebody else to try to defeat their argument. You always miss scenes you wrote, ideas you had, dialogue you had, that You spend virtually years putting together this construction, this design for a movie. These words that are an impassioned kind of letter about how to dramatize these ideas, to dramatize these emotions, to dramatize these images, and you shed tears over every image you lose. You rejoice at some of the images you gain. You realize there's some compromises in life, and you're not going to get everything you want. Even if you had complete control, you wouldn't get everything you wanted. There's something I very much like about the movie, and something that's in there, and I would have liked to see expanded, where Marg and Michael Madsen are talking about maybe we're weeds in the universe and something was sent to pull us up and uproot us.
She would make one excellent biological weapon. If someone out there thought we were some kind of galactic weed that was going to spread through the universe.
And that is a kind of idea about what is our place in the universe and how would another civilization or species see us. Maybe we're not just a potential friend. Maybe we're a competitor. Maybe we're a resource. And the other idea that I liked very much that I would have liked to have seen emphasized is Natasha has this existential situation. She doesn't know where she came. She doesn't know why she's here. She doesn't know really, except instinctually, what she's supposed to do. What it appears she's supposed to do is to outbreed us, to create a new species on Earth that just outbreeds us.
Where's a good place to find a man?
When we first saw the film, it had some problems with its ending, and those were reshot a couple or 3 times. The original script worked more on a love triangle in which the hero, Syl, and Marg were in a love triangle, and therefore it was a competition for the male, which is themed to the movie to some extent, that a female comes here and has to compete to find the superior mate. That ending was more bittersweet and involved some things that people thought was not the best solution, although I liked it. In consequence, we searched more for the ending, and the ending needed to be full, and the ending needed to be adequate. And so we wrote an ending in which there was a child. A child is actually born. In the initial script, no child was born. And I came up with this idea that it ate the rat, which was an indication that it was, again, looked innocent, but was incredibly dangerous. It was the predator, not the prey. When I saw the film, I, of course, mourned for the things I had lost and rejoiced in the things that I had succeeded in and gained. This is why I'm willing to write spec scripts and take the risk, is because you go on a quest to find the answers to some of your life questions. And when you at the end succeed, sometimes you decide you're still undecided, but sometimes you resolve some of your understandings and issues. And I learned a lot about mating, sexuality, biology, and my place in the life cycle and reproduction cycle from species. And in consequence, I carry the success of that quest with me, and it answers questions for me. It brings up new questions, and I look back on it and think about it. And that is what I see a movie, a screenplay, a book. They're a mechanism, a machine for thinking and feeling and experiencing.